about drinking water for the channel points you don't have? Yeah, okay. Okay. We haven't talked about that at all. Your dog eats babies. Don't do that. They make you become an affiliate before you get channel points. Oh, I did not know that. I've yet to apply for the affiliate because of the business stuff we've been discussing here and there. Oh, two. Okay, so these two doors, one will be police evidence, one will be the armory. I'm more interested in the armory. Console is broken, unfortunately. Both consoles are broken, so we don't know which one is which. I would think in a police precinct, the armory's probably smaller than the evidence locker. No, because people would go in, there'd be lockers and stuff. You'd think the armory would be bigger. These appear to be the same size. Actually, this one's only 2 tiles, and this one's 3. So we're going to go on the assumption that the armory would be a little bit bigger. So we'll try to cut our way in here. You need, well, of course, I forgot my welding goggles, because I can't do anything right. So we'll head back to base again, like the 5th time today. People get the points, but they don't show. Oh, okay. Great grandma would kill chickens by whipping them. Yes, I've seen people do that. It seems extremely brutal for, like, not humane at all. Seems extremely terrible. But I've seen people do that. Elbow Cat has now followed. Thank you very much. We've had quite a few followers today. How many followers have we had? Like 7, 8, like 8 followers. Plus I had some off screen. I'm not sure where those followers that come offline come from. I guess from the YouTube channel. But yeah. Armory would be further away from the cells. I mean, maybe logically speaking, I don't know. Unless you're talking about for sure from the layout of the building. I don't know. Exciting news for the next episode of Experimental Cataclysm. More zombie animal variants. We have dry pet food now. Like, there's nothing really super huge the way there was last week with the reanimation of all enemies. But more zombie animals is probably the cool thing. But no, pretty basic stuff. I can't really think of anything. I have a list already made up because I was going to record it tonight. Let me pull up the overlay in case that pops up on the wrong screen. It did. Let's pull this over here to the second monitor. So most interesting thing in this episode. Oh, the prison got a rework. Is a pretty big change. The original prison, that's like the land-based prison, got a rework, so that's pretty interesting. We'll probably check that out in an upcoming series. One of the hub missions got adjusted, got some new monsters added to it. Vehicles now travel on Z levels. There are ramps over bridges, things like that, and you can now work out using exercise equipment. So quite a lot of things have come over the last 2 weeks. Again, I only use the change logs, so I miss out on stuff that's really recent. For instance, 2 days ago, they've implemented feral. Well, it doesn't matter. There are some new monsters in the game that I don't want to spoiler, but they were added 2 days ago, and we're not going to cover those, unfortunately, in the next day's episode. I need my PBA mask for welding. We'll head back because I took a long deviation from talking, or from playing, and was focused on talking. Oh, and I've unplugged my headphones. Oh, and I just remembered I, again, was supposed to change this chair so it would stop squeaking all the time. I keep forgetting. I'm going to make a note in huge freaking letters. Change your damn chair. Great. So I will definitely, possibly change that for the next stream. Fed the chicken bread, so they got constipated and died that way. Also not great. Also not a great way to kill something. I know it, like, I know I'm a little uptight about that kind of stuff. I know it's especially depends on the country you live in, and whether you're even like just the difference between like country and urban areas in America are vastly different. I knew we had a pig roast at one point and they butchered the pig. I just wasn't around for that. So I think it just depends a lot where you live and what country you're from. But it just makes me uncomfortable, the thought of killing an animal. Implemented encumbrance, coverage, and max encumbrance per each limb. So expect that to be implemented soon. It should severely change how armor works. I don't know what to think about that. Uh, I guess I'll have to see it in person to have an idea of whether or not I like that. I did at the beginning of the stream. We complained about how someone shuffled the body parts around. I don't know who did that, but that's a small thing that is annoying the bejesus out of me. So we'll burn down, or cut our way through, rather, the metal door here. Torch doesn't have enough acetylene. Reload the torch. Actually, save before you reload. That's where we got a seg fault before. Reload. Excellent. Activate. Torch. So this is the armory. This is what we were after. Looks like a fully functional Kevlar vest is just so good to have. I mean, we're wearing the plate armor, but I would love to ditch that over time, so we're definitely going to do that. Stanag Mag never hurts anybody. I guess we'll just take everything. I don't really want the gun, to be honest, or the flashlight. We already have one. Double-aught shot, always valuable. A Ruger and a Glock mag. Not super amazing, to be honest. I guess we'll go in the evidence locker. There's nothing in here. Oh, never mind. We used all of our acetylene, so we won't be doing that. I don't really feel like pickaxing through the wall. So let's go back to base. We'll rest up and get ready for healing overnight. Usually with pigs before slaughter, you don't feed them a couple days, so there's no waste. Yeah, I imagine that's probably true for most larger tamed animals. Demented. Okay. It's a bad way to die. I mean, it depends on how much you value an animal's life and how much you consider them to be. Like, I don't know, people have weird opinions on whether animals are really feel things the way we do and that sort of stuff. And since they don't have a concept of death, is it really that big of a deal for them? I've heard a lot of arguments about whether animals have, like, valid, not feelings, but, like, comprehension and the understanding of what pain is and that kind of thing. I personally just don't like it. I don't like the idea of hurting an animal. I don't like the idea of killing an animal. I understand humanity as a whole does it constantly, every day, thousands and thousands and thousands, you know, but it just is one of those things I wouldn't do personally. Like, I'm never going to raise chickens for meat or rabbits for meat. If I had animals, they would be fun animals that I took care of and maybe milked. Like, I wouldn't hate having a goat or a pony. I mean, you don't milk a pony, obviously, but, like, that would be a fun animal as opposed to an animal you use for harvest. Yeah, all she was demented, just a bad way to die. Yeah, I noticed that too. I wonder who did it. Annoyed me too. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see anything about shuffling this, but I didn't look at any of the recent PRs. Like I said, I usually check the change logs. I don't usually watch the GitHub too closely, so. Fine watching butchery, but I give thanks for their death so I can eat. Also, my family never usually wastes any part of the animal except the inedible bits. Inedible bits. If you name an animal, you're fucked. Never name. Oh, don't name the animal you're gonna eat. Gotcha. Yeah, don't do that. I imagine that would make it infinitely more difficult to kill and butcher an animal. But then again, I live in a country, and I've definitely heard stories of kids who, oh, you get a calf for 4-H, and you raise the calf, and you have the calf named, and then one day, you guys are having your baby calf for dinner, and it's like, holy crap. I don't know how I would process that as a child, but I guess some people do. Well, let's grab. We should have antiseptic. No, we have hydrogen peroxide, specifically. And we'll just grab a rando bottle here. The 4 that are stacking probably are all full. You can't see the contents by looking at it. Can you? Holds 250 milliliters. Yes, you can. You can look at the volume, but it requires you to scroll down. No, that doesn't say how much. We would have to scroll all the way down to the pockets. I don't want to do that, but we'll grab a small bottle. Activate the. Okay, get away from the pile so we're not getting an overwhelmingly large menu. Apply to our head, and we'll bandage the rest of our body parts. Why don't we make some more boiled makeshift bandages instead of using our good ones? So let's start a fire. Start a fire. We will make some makeshift bandages. I don't know how many rags we have left. 50. Okay, we're good. We'll make 6 makeshift bandages, and then we will boil them. Oh, I don't know if I have water. Not enough for 2 batches. Yeah, okay. Give me my jug of water. Water. Clean water, dirty. Gallon jug of clean... No, give me the dirty water. And we'll fill this jug up at the pond next door. This is pretty convenient. Pour in a container, blah, blah, etc. Head back to base. Makes it harder when it dies or gets butchered. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly why I would never name an animal that I even considered we would be harvesting. Although, again, we don't do that here. We'll makeshift bandage times 2. Dad had a goat around and thought it was a pet, like a dog, and then your great-grandparents slaughtered it. Yeah, you hear a lot of those stories back in the day. Don't get feelings when you're going to get your hands dirty. Goats are awesome. Yeah, if I had to pick an animal, like if I, got to a point in my life where I was a little bit more secure and had my own place and whatever, it probably would be in the country, and I'd probably get something like a small horse and a goat as a companion animal. Those are really the only things I would consider having personally. I know some people in the area who have sheep, but something about sheep I just find off-putting. Like goats freak me out because they have the weird eyes, but like something about sheep, they just seem so pointless. They never seem to have any personality. But I've met some goats that seem like pretty cool pets, so I wouldn't hate having a goat. We don't need to craft anything. We need to apply our bandages. We'll make shift, yes. Go ahead and put the fire out. You don't need a light to apply your bandages, weirdly. So we'll bandage basically every body part here. You get a little bit of health. And because we have first aid 5, I imagine even though we're quite damaged on our head, I suspect we'll be fully healed tomorrow. But I guess we'll find out. What is the bandaging and treatment quality? Very good disinfectant, average everything else. Yeah, I bet we full heal overnight. And then we'll head to bed. Let's take off our armor, because it's not right to wear plate armor to bed. Very peculiar. Definitely don't want people to think I'm a weirdo. Let's save, because we're, again, trying to save more. Go ahead and take a nap, my friend. Ah, goats are awesome. Yeah, but you can't help but feel some sympathy sometimes. Yeah, I mean, if you have an animal that you're living around constantly, you're taking care of it, you're mucking stalls, you're probably petting it, feeding it on a daily basis. I don't know how you don't get attached to an animal, but I think part of it is how you're raised. I meet a lot of country people who are just desensitized to it. Yeah, the cows are cute, sure. At the end of the day, they're here for us to eat them. We run a ranch, we're just going to eat them. So for people in that position, I think it makes perfect sense that they kind of build up that clinical detachment. Just like, if you work around death every day, you're going to become pretty inoculated to the effects that most people feel when they see like a dead body. If you're a mortician, you just gradually over time, acclimate to that situation. So I don't know. Part of it's upbringing, part of it's where you live, all that jazz. We did not fully heal. I'm actually really surprised that we only healed 1 tick when we were disinfected and bandaged. Did we not sleep long enough? What happened here? Your arm healed, your arm healed. You feel well rested, you wake up. Interesting. We slept for a long time. Did they nerf healing again? I expected to heal a lot more. That's okay. I mean, it doesn't really matter. But whatever. They look so human, what with the intelligent gaze and all. I don't know. Dogs, personally, I like the best. They can be trained for many things depending on the breed. Yeah, I mean, I have dogs. I love dogs. It's just, I was thinking more farm animals, personally. If you ask me to pick a domesticated animal that people have, like, in their home, 100% it's going to be a dog. Take a goat over a horse every day. Unfortunately, horses require a lot of upkeep, both, like, financially paying for their food and things like that, but also the constant maintenance. You got to brush them, wash them, muck their stalls and whatnot. And they're quite large animals, so there tends to be a lot of that kind of work. Smaller animals, goats, sheep, those things are a lot easier to manage. So yeah, I probably would take a goat over a horse. But I grew up around horse girls, people who kind of, worked with horses, and one of my girlfriend when I was like college aged was in school for equestrian studies, so like I've been around horses a lot, so that's like a natural go-to for me. Sister is a nurse. She's completely not bothered by seeing dead bodies. Yeah, we talked about that pretty recently on stream. My grandmother works in hospice, so she comes home and talks about dead people all the time, and it's like means nothing to her. But for me, I'm sitting there like, oh God, Grandma, you shouldn't talk about people being people being dead. Oh no, it's fine. They were old. Yeah, but they were still people, Grandma. Human pet would be an interesting experience. I would highly recommend you do not keep a human as a pet. I feel like history has taught us that that is terrible. Plus, I've seen the human centipede videos, and I know where that line of thinking leads to. You start off with like, yeah, it'd be fun to have someone in a pet collar, and then 6 months later, you're sewing people mouth to anus in your basement, and just gets out of hand pretty quickly. So I would not recommend. We're very hungry. Let's eat some pumpkin to fill ourselves up. Also, let's try never to say mouth to anus on stream again. I think we'll just keep doing vehicle work. Let's pick up all the tools and things that we dropped. So we need our welder. Welding tank. No, the welder itself. We're going to need those PBA. No, don't fool with that. I'm going to need my PBA goggles again. PBA. Return no results. Why? Are they in my inventory? They're not. Where'd my PBA? There it is. Must have typed it wrong or something. Gonna need the Hexall. Might still be in my inventory. It is. We're gonna need the wrench possibly, so we'll keep the wrench. And if we put a new tank on it, we'll need the drill. So let's search for drill, and that should be enough to do most of the vehicle work. So let's start slapping these frames on here. We're going to run out of medium batteries. I don't think we have any rechargeable medium batteries, unfortunately, because they're all these plutonium ones. We have one good medium plutonium battery. That's going to be a real problem long-term doing vehicle work. Do we have any in our base? Medium. Another disposable, and then those outside. That sucks. We're not gonna have enough to do the whole vehicle. Take a look at chat. CPR on a dead body. She knew was dead for 10 minutes while waiting for the ambulance. She broke the ribs. That's a pretty common story as well. Usually not from nurses. Usually you hear people breaking ribs during CPR when they're inexperienced and they don't know really what you're doing. She's like, yeah, it's normal. Wiener dogs are cool but dirty. I have a wiener dog. He's my favorite dog that we have. And he's a little scaredy cat, but he's adorable, and I love him very much. Ignorance is bliss when it comes to meat. Started to eat less and less meat over the last few years. I still eat a ton of it because it's what the family makes when they cook. But, like, if you ask me point blank, hey, do you want meat or do you want vegetables? I'll pick vegetables most of the time. Dog breeds don't shed very often. Yeah, the wiener dog's pretty good about that. He doesn't really shed. You got to be worried about their spine. I don't recommend personally, but they're pretty neat. Yeah, he has some hip problems. I've heard that they have a lot of hip problems. Chickens to baby octopi to slaughter to pets to dogs. Weird how the way things progress. Yeah, I mean, and you forgot about death. Yeah, death is something that comes up pretty frequently, seems like, on stream. I had more death stuff to talk about the other day, and I can't remember it now, but I remember actively choosing not to talk about it because we had talked about it at length in, like 2 weeks ago. Give me that sewing kit back. Let's see if we can fix our gear before we head out again. And before I forget, my goodness, that heat is starting to get to me pretty good. Let's step away so we don't have these huge menus. Activate sewing kit. Nope, that's a screwdriver set. Sewing kit. Repair the hiking backpack first. We don't have leather. Oh, that's right. It's made entirely of leather. Of course it is. Well, with the benefit of the survivor harness, it can accommodate more space. So we could swap to a smaller backpack. Let's do that. Search for pack. Box backpack. No, that sounds like just a box that we put together. Give me How much is the survivor backpack? Too much leather, not doing it. Hiking backpack, too much leather, not doing it. What is a travel pack? It is rags. How much storage do you have? 31 liters? That's pretty high. What's your encumbrance? 25 when full. That sucks, but we can do that. Let's get some thread. Give me my string. Give me a long string. Drop the string. Butcher the string into small strings. Butcher the small strings into thread. No, don't disassemble. Yes, that's correct. String, yes. Death is the best subject. Yay, death. Death is every day for you working in a hospital, transporting to the morgue and stuff. Human death is not a big deal. This channel pivots that way sometimes. Well, honestly, it's because I'm... Well, one, death is a part of life and, you know, people around you will die. But also, two, because I'm a pretty dark, depressed sort of dude, so I do tend to gravitate towards death. Lately, I've been working on some of my writing, which revolves very heavily about a bunch of murders and stuff. I have no idea why I started this fire. I did not need this fire. We were going to make this pack. So I've been thinking about death a lot lately because of my story that I'm doing. And yeah, just my mind goes there sometimes. I think about death pretty frequently. I don't know. I shouldn't. You know, it's not something I need to think about, but it comes up. Like, I don't know. Store an inventory. No, don't draw those yet. Give me... Wear the backpack first. We're looking for the travel pack. Travel pack. Why do I have a travel pack that had items in it? Where travel? Why do you have 8 items in you? Put that on as well. Okay. Let's take care of this first. Okay. Unload the hiking backpack. That should put it in our travel pack. Oh, it did put both on. Okay, that's fine. Drop our travel pack. Or no, our wielded hiking pack. We don't need that. What is this that got dropped? Plate armor and the jug of water. Why? Okay, I don't care. Put the plate armor on. Pick up the jug of water. That doesn't belong there anyway. We'll dump that over here. Check the crappy pack. What is in you? Why did you still have items in you? You shouldn't have. Hammer, screwdriver set, sewing kit, thread, PBA. So, I don't know when those got put in there because I just picked this up. But whatever. Unload. That should put them in the proper pack, and then we can drop the busted one. So a little tedious dealing with some of this, but that's okay. Firefighter PBA mask, blah, blah, blah. Everything's fine. Let's, we don't have leather. How much leather do we? We have 3 leather. So let's fix our pants. Why not? While we're here. We're looking for leather pants. Yes. Repair. Great. So our gear is fixed up, so I don't have to try to remember that before we go out again, because I would have forgotten. And then we would have lost our pack. True. Weird how it's not a big deal, but some people are more worried about idiotic animals that are meant to be eaten, such as chickens. I mean, obviously, I put a human death much higher than an animal's death. I think you're probably speaking about people who like PETA, who go way out of their way to make a huge deal about animal rights. And then, like, it's interesting, you know, I remember being a teenager, and basically they could come to your house and they could take your dog away if you didn't have a decent sized house, because they could say that that's not appropriate for the animal and that's animal cruelty. So they would come to your house and say, you know what, your house is too small, your yard's too small, we're going to take your pet away, but we're going to leave you and your 3 kids in this house, because even though it's not treated as big enough for a dog, you can still live here and live your little sad, below the poverty line lifestyle. And so that always was interesting. And PETA in general is a group that I don't agree with and think they're, in my opinion, they're like extremists, and I don't like them at all. I think that they're over the top and they're ridiculous people. Not to mention that they've supported criminal activity in the past, so give that a Google sometime. I think it's the human condition. We all think about it more than we like to talk about it. Sure, I mean, death is. It depends on who you are. Some people are really hung up on that kind of stuff. Howdy, what's up? Hello, Karma. I can barely read your name because it's very tiny and red in my chat here. Talking death. PETA kills more animals than any other person. I mean, I don't know anything about that, but like I know that back in like the 90s or early 2000s, they had supported like a subsection of their people that had gone out and like, was it PETA that firebombed? No, that was the anti-abortion people. I don't remember. I don't want to say things that I don't know for sure. But I'm pretty sure PETA has been linked to subgroups that are have done some terroristic things. Anyway, we're supposed to be working on our vehicle instead of rambling like an idiot at chat. So let's try to do this. I am concerned we're going to run out of charges if we try to extend this 2 tiles. So we're just going to do 1 here and add 3 extra interior tiles right here. Because I just don't think we have enough batteries to do a whole second section plus quarter panels, boards, all that stuff. So I'm a little worried we're going to run out of charge because we don't have any rechargeable batteries. So look up Tiger King. Both sides had pretty much the same conditions. One just was more justified than the other. I actually watched Tiger King like not right when it came out, but shortly after, and I hated everyone in that series. Like there was so much terrible, terrible people on every side of that story. Didn't like the woman, didn't like the Tiger King, didn't like the other guy, Doc, whatever, the guy with the baby cats and stuff. Like, I didn't like anybody in that show. They were all terrible people that were clearly taking advantage of animals, doing awful things. And in my opinion, none of them are good people. And what really sealed it for me, well, I don't want to spoil anything. I don't know what counts as a spoiler, and that's a pretty recent show, so never mind. But basically, there was a moment in that series where something really bad happens, and the Tiger King was like, "I'm never going to financially recover from this," and he was putting his money ahead of the safety of other people, and I just was like, "This guy's kind of a terrible person, huh?" And his whole relationships with the young guys seemed very predatory. That whole show was like literally like just a series of, oh, this guy's a terrible person, oh, that person's a terrible person, over and over and over. But it was really interesting, an interesting show, but I did not like anyone involved. What are you gonna do? I mean, I don't think you get, well, whatever. I don't want to make general statements, but I didn't like that show at all. Everybody was clearly in it for themselves. Everybody was not, just didn't seem like good people. Anyway, let's throw the old. We need to put boards in over those tires. I shouldn't have taken those boards off. We need some boards. Nope, that's a box. That was a misclick. Excellent. Take the box off. Put a board here, please. The vertical one. Put another one over here. I can feel that congestion again. Let me take a drink and try to blow my nose here. Ugh, I hate the summertime. I hate it. There's allergies, there's coronavirus, there's 95 plus degrees, there's 100% humidity. It's just killing me slowly. It's just degrading my mental state. The heat, like for some reason, whenever it's hot, it just completely melts my brain, and I can't focus on anything. Generally makes talking a lot more difficult. Which, fun fact, when you're streaming, is kind of a big deal. You need to be able to talk. I think I'm just gonna put 1 door on it. Usually I put 3 back here. What door do I like? It has to be opaque. Shutter door, maybe. Vehicle lets you move. Blah blah blah. Yeah, it's a door. I get it. Strong door. What's the difference between a strong door and a weak door? I do wish it would show HP and stuff when you go into a part like a part installation like this. I guess we'll just put 3 shutter doors if I have the materials for them. A little worried about our welder holding out, but we're doing okay, and we still have that backup battery. Shutter door, please. And uno mas. I don't really have anything else to talk about, to be honest. Pizza Boy is warm too. Conversation's a little depressing. I'm gonna go work out. Yeah, I mean I don't blame you. It does get a little bit like that sometimes. What are you gonna do? Enjoy your workout. Stay fit.